الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام الأتمان الأكملان على محمد بن عبد الله صلوات ربي وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أيها الطلبة بارك الله فيكم. بإذن الله عز وجل, we are going to start today's episode. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for beneficial understanding, knowledge and wisdom. Amin. This is another page and another basis. So for today we have, as you can see, we have al-mudud. Al-mudud is the plural form of al-maddu. I get it. Al-maddu. You have heard of al-maddu before. Al-maddu. And some of them say al-maddatu or al-madda. Aha. Al-maddu. Al-maddatu. And here we have al-mudud. This is elongations. That's enough. Al-maddu. You making your voice to be elongated than the normal pitch. You are now raising your pitch now. That's al-mudud. So you have things to note here. So for today, I'm going to highlight some things out here as an outline for us. This al-maddu, it means we are elongated, as I've said. But the basic mud is called al-maddu tabi'i. Al-maddu tabi'i means natural elongation. And that is our katan. We move it, we elongate it twice. That means before we know alif hamza fatia to be a. Now when this maddu is being introduced, after its introduction, we say a. That's 2 times. Ba, ta, sa. Can you see? Unlike sa, ba. So you have to note that first. The second thing to note here is that we have various ways we can pronounce this mud after its introduction. But the one that is okay, that I deemed befitting for us, is that we should pronounce the alphabet first. Then we should pronounce the alphabet of the mud. Then we should now pronounce the words alka. Then we should now bring out the results. What do you mean by this? In the practical aspect, you will understand better. Another thing to note finally is that this al-maddu has 3 alphabets. How many alphabets? 3. I call them ahruful mad. Sorry, I call it what? Ahruful mad. Sorry. Now, this is too thick. Excuse me. Let me reduce the weight. That's happening. Now, I call it ahruful mad. Ahruful mad. And those are the alphabets of the mad. The first one is, or we should say, the kinds of mad we have. I get me. So from there we reach the alphabet. So the first one is the alif. Al-alifu. And you know alif before. This is what is called al-maddu bil alifi, as the author had named it here. Al-alifu. And the second alphabet is al-ya. Al-ya. And you know your ya. And the third one is al-wawu. Then to remember this, I have 2 ways or 3 ways. You can say without following this trend. Say how are you? This is the alphabet of math. How are you? You can use that to remember. You say who are you, which means for alif it has a going with it. For ya it has kesra going with it, that's the e, and for wa it has doma going with it, who. So this is what this is. Are you getting me now? What the sounds produce. That's how I said a wa you. Are you getting me? Or you say who are you? Just to remember this alif, wa, and ya. That's just the short way. But considering the sounds that comes out, you know that the alif go with a, while the ya is the e, and the wa is what, wu. Are you getting me? So that's that one. That, let us note that. Now, so the author, he said al-maddu bil alifi. Al-maddu bil alifi, and that's the first one. So now elongation with alif. Alif. You know where alif is coming from now. That's ahruful mad. The first is what? Al-maddu bil alif. Elongation with alif. So now the author had decided to make a comparison. Again, so he wants to compare and contrast between the basic haraka and the secondary haraka now. The basic one is the harakatul fathi. Can you see? This Hamza Fatia. You know that is ah. Now, for the secondary haraka, which is the elongation al-maddu, as we have it here, is you see Hamza. Can you see? It has Hamza and it has alif at the back and Fatia now. Are you getting me? So this becomes a. This one is a, and this one is a. So here you say ba fatia ba. So how do you pronounce this? You say ba alif madu fatia ba. Can you see? So for the first one, I didn't pronounce, for the alif, you can say it's just alif madu fatia a, without saying alif madu. I get him, because that's tautology. You're just repeating it. Since you are dealing with alif, just say alif madu fatia a. But for this ba, you say ba alif madu fatia ba. Can you see? This is ta fatia ta abi. Ta alif madu fatia ta. In some of our madrasa, we are being taught that you are going to say ta fatia alimadi ta, but that one is like, are you getting me? No, not that it's not correct. Reaching the results is what matters most, but it is best you pronounce it as I've pronounced it. So you should, if you are familiar with the previous one, the one we have learned in our madrasas before. So let us try to change to this one I've said now. Sa fatia sa. Now you say sa alif madu fatia sa, jim fatia ja, jim alif madu fatia ja, ha fatia ha, ha alif madu fatia ha, kho fatia kho, kho alif madu fatia kho. And you know, twice, like I said, you elongate it twice now. Dal fatia da, dal alif madu fatia da, zal fatia za, zal alif madu fatia za, ro fatia ro, ro alif madu fatia ro. So let us just start pronouncing it now. Za, sa, sha, so, do, to, zo, a, go, fa, ko, ka, la. Can you see? You know lam before, Abi. So that's why I say lam alif. Lam alif fatia la. Why? and you say lam fatia la. That means that lam is having an elongation being introduced to it. That's how it became la. That's lam alif, lam and alif. So you can say lam alif madu fatia la, or you say lam alif fatia la, ma, na, ha, wa, ya. So now the author here wants us to compare and contrast between harakatul fathi in its basic form, that is without elongation, and now with what elongation. So the first one is qama, qaf fatia qa, mim fatia ma, qama, and this one is qaf alif madu fatia, qaf alif madu fatia qa, and mim fatia ma, qama. So another thing to note here is that once you see an elongated alphabet, you raise your mouth in its pronunciation. But where elongation is absent, you make your mouth to be fixed, that without raising it. You don't raise it. So because when we have students, in most cases, they find it difficult to pronounce an elongated alphabet correctly. Because when they have the mixture of an elongated alphabet with the one that is not elongated, they tend to give the one that is not having elongation the elongation, while the one having elongation will be left not elongated in the long run. So you must be very conscious here. So comma, comma. Can you see? Ko, I raise my mouth. Ada, ada. Sada, sada. Mala, mala. Fako, fako. Nama, nama. Jada, jada. Kataba, katibu. Dhahaba, dhahibu. Basato, basitu. Abada, abidu. Ibadu. Sabata, sabitu. Sabatu. So not sabatu, no, but sabatu. The sa is fixed. I raise my mouth in ba, the last and remain fixed. Sabatu. Sami'a, sami'an, sama'an. Can you see now? So you have to take note of that. It's very important. Then next one now, you have is still al-maddu bil alifi. So here you must take note of something. We have two ways of writing al-maddu bil alifi. We have two ways. How many ways? Two ways. We have the al-kitabatu al-Qur'aniyya. Just note this. I'm not going to write it out because I just want you to take notes. Al-kitabatu al-Qur'aniyya, it means the form in which these hamza are being represented, are being written in what? In our mushaf, in our Quran. Are you getting me? In the copies of the Quran we have, following the Uthmanic representation. That's what is called Rasmu Uthmani. And we have Al-Kitabatul Imla'iyya, the rules of spellings, how we write it out in what is other than the Quran, that is maybe in Arabic textbooks and what have you. So what do I mean here? Look at this Maddu sign. Basically is usually a stress, something like this. This is the Maddu sign, and sometimes we have it like this. Is also Maddu. Can you see? So take note of that. I'm going to show you when we come across it in these illustrations and in these examples we have been provided with in this book, inshallah. So you have something that is stressed like this. It is an elongation. Good. So as for the hamza I'm talking of, whenever you see, for example, alif madu fatia, it should be like this. Can you see? Alif madu fatia, but adibin is in the Quran. This madu is basically means hamza and alif too. Are you getting me now? So that means the Hamza will come first. Whenever the Hamza comes first, then the Alif Madu comes after it. So this is equals to this. Alif Madu Fatiha is the same thing as this. Can you get him? Can you get me? Are you getting me? So it means this. But the only difference there is that this is what's written in our Mus'haf. Are you getting me? This is how it's in Adibini is a Mus'haf. You're going to see, you can go and check it when you get home. For this now, this is Adam. I've written Adam. Go and check for Adam in your Mus'haf. You see that this is how it is written. But if it is not your name, your name is Adam, right? You. I'm talking to you. Your name is Adam. I don't know. I'm being optimistic that you have one of Adam listen to us. Barakallahu fiqh. So here, Adibin, your name is Adam. You are Adam now. Or you are Abu Adam. You have a son that bears Adam. And you intended writing down the name in Arabic. Since the name now will be written out outside the Mus'haf, outside the Quran now, how do you write Adam? Will you write it like this? No, you won't write it in that manner, but in this manner. I'm coming. Let me write it for you. Instead, you write your Adam. This is outside the Mus'haf now. Not this one now is outside the Mus'haf. You want to write Adam, you write it like this. Adam. Can you see? So this is Kitabatu Imla'iyya, the rule of spellings, representation. Why this this is what? Kitabatu al-Qur'aniyya, the Quran what representation. So that's the difference. So let us note that too. Now let us come here now. So here if you want to spell it, it means Alif Madu Fatiha A. Sorry. I get me. It means that Dal Fatiha da A da Mim do Mamu A damu Hajar Taqata Naqatu Ghaliba Zalimu Haraba Jami'u Thalithu Dabiru Thaniya Khalika Badiya Fatiri Da'iya Yakhafu Yazalu Yughathu Yutafu Yuhasabu Ma'aribu Maghanimu Layaliya Mafatihu Hunalika Da'ana. You have two more there. Da'ana Qalata. You have cough having mud and you have ta. That means you are going to raise your mouth in both alphabets. Qalata Madha Ta'amika Mizajuha Yudafi'u Ukuliha Shana'anu Nashi'ata Fa'adhaqahu Manakibiha Asabaha Tahawurakuma Ri'ayatiha Kawa'iba. So that is that on that. Now we move to the next one. Can you see? He said Ala Rasmil Imla'ish. So following the rule of spelling, the rule of dictations, that is not in the most obvious how it is written. Sawaba, Sahaba, Banaha, Zawata, Qadaha, Tafahama, Tanasara, Taqaraba, Tadaraka, Tasalafa, Yudafi'u, Yunaqishu, Yukhalifu, Yataraja'u, Yatawada'u, Asawira, Akabira, Ahasinu, Hadaya, hadaya, qadaya, gobatu, kholatu, ataha. Can you see alif mad when it is only of spellings? Akhirina, atharaha, amana, Adamu. Finally, can you see Adamu? And look at amana. Can you see? So alif and the stressed pattern. No hamza and alif now. Taba wa anaba. Hajara wa jahada. Aqama solatahu. Rojahu fahadahu. Rojahu fahadahu. Ajabahu fada'ahu. Now let us look at this long one. I should leave it for you to read. Let us go. Ata'a Umaru Aba'u fafaza biridha khaliqihi. Ata'a Umaru Aba'u fafaza biridha khaliqihi. And the last but not least here is al-alifu al-alifu al-madiyatu as-saghiratu. Al-alifu al-madiyatu as-saghiratu. Al-khassatu bi-rasmi al-Qur'ani. Can you see? He said this the maddu, the alif mad that is shortened, the shortened alif mad that is usually short, not like the elongated one now. The alif will be represented the mad but short, not joining well with the alphabet, unlike the previous one. And he said it is special with what Quran representation. You only find it in the Quran. So you should notice that. So this is also ba alif madu fatiha, ba na ta ya sa sha. Don't forget, we are still doing what? We are still dealing with al-alifu, al-maddu bil-alifi, al-maddu bil-alifi. That means this here we pronounce as alif too. Sa. This one will also be pronounced pronounced as alif. Ra, ha. Even this one pronounced as alif. Na, la, ka. Do you understand now? So these examples were gotten from the Quran. Maliki, Shirata. You have to elongate where you see the shortened alif. It is also al-maddu bil alifi, but special represented in the what? In the Mus'haf. Hadha ila dhalika banaha hadhani. That's why another thing to note is that all these shortened alif, when written outside the Mus'haf, it should not be what? Elongated too. And there might be what? Omitted without including it. Are you getting me? This short alif, especially in some, not in all cases, but in some of the cases. But when we get there, you know, just take notes. Sa'a yura mata'an wa manata yujahidu nasara ataka tadhahara fahashara fanada hunalika da'a wa arina manasikana kadhalika qala aliyaha safilaha taba wa amana. Can you see amana? You know, because it's in the Mus'haf, it's written as amana, as you have it here. Amana. I think it is not in the Mus'haf now. to be at this manner. Can you see it now? So take note of that. Turawidu fataha fata'ata fa'aqara wa qala ma nahakuma qala la takhafa idza talaha thulatha wa ruba'a thulatha wa ruba'a. So now we have come to the end of the class. So you should also try to practice and digest all we have done for today. If you fail to revise, you may find it difficult and cumbersome in the long run. When we are going to the next alphabet of math. So don't sleep on it. Try to revise on your own. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for everyone of us and make it a beneficial knowledge. Innahu huwal wal qadir alayh. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.